Hey guys, this is Ben Kruger with Old School Manufacturing, home of the Weed Zapper. Hope you find these videos instructionally helpful. Hopefully you'll find them maybe a little bit entertaining from time to time. And we hope that they help you in both the operation, the maintenance, and the understanding of your new Weed Zapper system. So we're going to jump right into the main control of your Weed Zapper system as far as you're concerned. This is your operating monitor. Typically, I would have this setting beside me, not in front of me, but beside me so that I can see my rows. I don't have auto steer on my tractor. If you do, you can put it in front of you, whatever you want to do. Keep in mind, don't ever put anything in front of you that's going to make the operation less safe. We want you to be safe out there. You need to see what that bar is contacting to keep everybody, including yourself, safe. So we're going to go ahead and click on our monitor here. This is the power button. You see the lights off. We'll turn the power on. This is your green start button. This is your red stop button. This is the emergency stop button. This shuts everything down immediately. Should something or someone come in front of you and you need to stop quick, it's a quick bump away. Okay? So, this is what we call the home screen of the Weed Zapper. It tells the model. It tells the amperage that was available for this model. These are continuous running amps. Once again, you can bump above that, but you cannot continually run above that without overheating the system and over-amperaging the system and getting those annoying in-field shutdowns where we're going to make you stop and cool off the system. So pay attention to that, okay? We're going to discuss that in a lot more detail later on. This is the monitor programming version. This is the computer programming version. You need to be running the latest software version every time we come up with a better idea, every time we come up with something that's going to make it so that you can run faster, run better, more efficiently, and more safely. We make it available free of charge. We don't charge for them. So make sure that you're running the newest version available on our website. If you have any questions, call us and ask us for the newest version. We'll email it to you. We'll have you up and running in a jiffy. Okay? The latest programming version will offer a lot of different features that we're going to go through later on in this. You're really going to like them. Some of those are going to change it from having a 15-foot starting time to a 3-foot starting time. There's a couple of those that are going to include the amperage scale that are going to tell you if you're overloading your system. There's a lot of very, very helpful things in there, so keep this programming updated. In the 2019 season, we had way too many programming updates. That's due to the fact that we had a new operating system and we were continually trying to make it available to you as soon as possible. 2020, we have it tested. It's going a lot smoother. There may be an occasional, but it will not be a continuous thing. So sorry for the aggravation for you guys who had to deal with that last year. So we're going to go ahead and advance through. These are the safety instructions. Never leave the tractor seat. This machine can produce 15,000 volts. This machine electrocutes. Be smart, act safely. Electrocution hazard. This is what this machine does. Just different things that we want you to read through and understand. You'll notice that this is on a time delay. It does have a 3-second time delay. If you speed read, you can read the whole thing. We want you to take time, especially the first time through, and read this and pay attention to it. We want you guys safe. So I agree to those. This is basically saying you're not going to sue my family or I because we've done all that we can to keep you safe, including informing you. Scroll down. If you agree with all of that, go ahead and hit I agree. If you disagree, it's going to kick you out and you don't get to run our machine. We want you to understand that we need to be here for the long haul to take care of our customers. We also need to provide for our families. So be safe out there. These are the basic operating machine instructions. Always stay in the seat. Boom wings must be run in the down position. You can't unhook one wing and leave it folded up. Be alert. Speeds that we recommend. Don't allow bystanders. Keep PTO shaft as straight as possible. Just basic things. Read through those different ones. If you agree with all of that, you understand all of that, hit I agree. Every time you get out of the tractor seat, you will have to go back through those. Why is that? Even if you don't shut off the monitor, you're going to have to do it. If I get out of the tractor and I know how to run the machine safely, I loan it to somebody else, they don't know how to run it safely, they get hurt, it's a bad deal. So whenever I get out of the seat, I let someone else use it, I want them to understand this is what I have to do to stay safe. The next screen we're going to come to, every machine will automatically know that this is the bar that it typically runs with. If you have a 16-row machine and you have decided to pair it with a rigid bar for cover crop killing, you would select that. Our monitor has a 1-second selection on most items. Hold down for 1 second, it'll illuminate red. Now you can go kill your cover crops. I'm going to run the flex wing version because that's what my system's set up for right now. This is the horsepower selection. These are approximate PTO horsepowers. Keep in mind this may or may not react to your tractor exactly, but this does help. So use these. Personally, on anything built before December 31st, 2019, I always recommend the smallest horsepower selection. It's the coolest way to operate that generator. On the built after January 1, 2020 machines, I typically run it on the middle horsepower selections, one of these two depending on how my tractor reacts. 2019 and before, 2020 and after. Try them all out, see what you think about them. The smaller the horsepower setting, the cooler the generator will operate. These are our weed selections. Short and low weeds. We go into this more in depth on the next video. Short and low weeds, anything less than knee high, the more wet or the more moist the ground conditions, this may be required. The monitor automatically selects the broadleaf because typically in a weed zapper scenario we are dealing with weeds that are about knee high or more. So this is the most common one, the one we've done the most testing with. Second pass grass setting. This is a higher voltage setting. We'll discuss that in the next video, but for right now, you just need to know that if I want to choose that, if I'm on a second or third pass, I hit it, this acknowledgement comes up, I hit it again, now it goes over there to it. Okay, this is the run screen of the weed zapper. My generator temperature is 75 degrees, I have 4 unsatisfied safeties, and I have a wing switch test. What the heck is a wing switch test? Well, first of all, I'm going to sit down in my seat. Second of all, I am going to lower my wings to the ground, get out of my seat, go put my wing locks down, then I'm going to raise my wings up until they contact those steel cylinder stops, and then my wing switch test is satisfied at that point. You have to raise them up until they contact those cylinder stops in order to satisfy the wing switch test. Okay, so at this point I have satisfied wings, I have satisfied because my butt's in the seat, I still have a disabled. Why do I have a disabled? Well, I'm not moving. Your weed zapper has to be moving in order to show a ready signal. Okay, we don't want you stopping, leaving the machine zapping, and taking a chance of getting hurt. If your PTO is on, you'll notice you're not showing any generator RPM. My PTO is on, I should be showing generator RPM. Well, we do have a 20-second bypass. It's designed for other functions in the field as well, but I'll go ahead and hit that. My RPM automatically comes up at this point. This is a good way to test and see that your RPM gauge is not broken. Okay. You'll notice that I still show disabled, so I'm going to move forward, but I'm still showing disabled. The last thing that has to be satisfied is 1600 generator RPM. Once again, 1600 generator RPM or above before we'll give you a ready signal. So I'm going to go ahead and throttle my tractor up to about 1100 PTO RPM, 1100 PTO RPM. I now have a ready symbol. I hit my green button, I go to work. Zapper is running. Okay, so now we're going through the field. We come to the end of the field and I decide I need to raise my wings up, as is typical operator's technique. I raise my wings up and I get a fire hazard warning. Now, why did that happen? I didn't hit my stop button. I want you to get to the end of your field. We'll clear this off and I'll show you what I mean. I want you to get to the end of your field. I want you to hit your stop button. Then I want you to raise your wings up. By doing it this way, I don't drag an arc from the bottom of my coulters and I do not catch my field on fire. This can be pretty frustrating. Been there, done that. So, once again, you're going to hit your stop button, raise your wings up, turn around. Okay, as you're turning around, that is where I typically, I come out, and as I'm making my corner to go back down my next row of crops, you'll see that I don't show any generator RPM. About the time I make my corner, then I go ahead and I hit my 20-second wing bypass. What this does is this takes you from a 15-foot starting lead to a 3-foot starting lead. It basically will start as soon as we sense speed on the coulter. So as soon as those wings touch the ground, if my finger's on the green button, it's going to start. So it'll take a little bit to get used to that. It'll take you a few passes, but you'll really like it. It's one of my favorite features of this new programming. So once again, it only stays on for 20 seconds. You can see it's went off again. So about the time that I'm making my corner, I reach over there, I bump that. For 20 seconds, everything comes on. At that point, I go ahead, I put my finger on the button, and I hit my wings down. As soon as I sense speed, I start zapping automatically. So we'll go through that one more time here. So we don't have any generator RPM. We're not moving. So I come out, my wings are raised up because I'm turning around. I come out about the time I make the corner. I hit my 20-second wing bypass. I'm now turned around and I'm straight with my rows getting ready to start again. I place my finger on the button as my wings are dropping. As soon as I sense speed, I go right back to work. Zapper is running. That's the basic controls of your monitor here. Average speed, broadleaf, 3.5 mile per hour. Average speed on grass, closer to 3 mile per hour. Keep your generator RPM 1600 RPM or above. Faster the generator RPM, cooler the system operates. The 20-second wing bypass, we talked about that. Play around with it a little bit. Speaking of that, I want you to understand that this monitor is going to become your best friend in your new Weed Zapper machine. It diagnoses itself, it tells you what's going on, and it helps to keep you safe. So the best place to learn how to use this monitor is in a hayfield. Go out, if you don't have a hayfield, go zap a little bit in your neighbor's hayfield, in a barn lot, in a pasture with no cattle. Find a place where you can shock some weeds where you're not having to worry about, am I driving down the row or not? Learn how to use your Weed Zapper in a place where you're not worried about if you're killing crops, you're only paying attention to your monitor. If you can get me 1 hour doing that, I'll give you 1 day of satisfaction when you get to the field. It's a fair trade. Thanks and God bless.